The usual advice is build the perfect survey, then act on the results.
Actually, Medallia's live transcript and clickstream engine lets you act before the survey even exists.
So you're saying immediate data can replace the classic survey design cycle.
Exactly. If your priority is rapid closed-loop action, the AI-driven feed wins the ROI race.
Welcome back to another deep dive of the CRM Position podcast. If you're a platform architect or maybe a voice of the customer manager or, CX leader navigating the absolute chaos of enterprise software right now, you know the stakes have never been higher.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today, we're taking a fundamentally different approach. There are no vendor pitches here today. We aren't just regurgitating marketing sheets. We are doing a pure architectural teardown.
Right. Getting into the actual mechanics.
Exactly. We went straight to the source documentation to really understand the structural clash between two completely divergent operational philosophies. We're looking at Medallia's real-time signal capture on one side and Qualtrics' deep enterprise survey governance on the other.
And, the documentation reveals something pretty crucial for anyone listening right now. Choosing between these two platforms, or even just optimizing the one you already deploy, is far more than a routine software procurement decision.
Oh, for sure. It's not just buying a tool.
Exactly. You are making an architectural choice that permanently dictates your organization's strategy. It dictates your stance on speed versus depth in your customer experience ROI. I mean, you are literally laying down the tracks for how your company is permitted to react to the market.
Right. And to really grasp that strategy, we have to kind of ignore the glossy dashboards for a minute and look at the raw mechanics of how these two engines ingest data under the hood.
Yeah, let's pull back the curtain.
So let's start with Medallia. When we examine their platform, we are looking at a pure event-driven architecture. The entire system is built around the ingestion of unstructured interactions as they are happening.
Right, in real time.
Exactly. So if a customer calls into a support center, Medallia uses speech-to-text technology to convert that call transcript live, literally as the words leave the caller's mouth.
It isn't waiting for the call to end to process some batch file at midnight.
No, not at all. And processing that data stream live allows frontline agents to trigger automated workflow actions, like issuing an immediate refund or escalating a critical technical issue before the customer even hangs up the phone.
Yeah, and the documentation indicates that in pilot deployments, this real-time capability can shave up to 30% off the mean time to action, which is massive.
It's a huge operational shift.
But what's fascinating here is the hidden driver. The mechanism that actually shapes how enterprise teams use the tool is Medallia's experience data record pricing model.
Oh, I'm really glad you brought that up because the pricing model is arguably more important than the code itself here.
Right, because behavior follows billing.
Yeah, exactly. An experience data record model measures usage and data volume rather than traditional survey design metrics or, seat licenses. By pricing the platform this way, Medallia actively incentivizes enterprise teams to ingest massive volumes of low-value, high-frequency signals.
Yeah.
We're talking about raw website clicks, page views, random social media mentions. You strip away the friction and the upfront cost of designing a formal survey, and you just open the fire hose.
And opening that fire hose results in a constantly refreshed feed of unstructured data pushed directly into your agent's CRM desktop via API.
Right.
It updates the customer record instantly, which heavily reduces the organization's reliance on historical after-the-fact reporting. You're basically plugging the ambient noise of the internet straight into the agent's workflow.
Which is incredibly powerful, but also chaotic. So let's contrast that fundamentally with Qualtrics.
Yeah, it's a completely different philosophy.
When you look at the Qualtrics architecture, it is built on a highly sophisticated, deeply structured survey engine. It prioritizes strict governance, regulatory compliance, and longitudinal insight over sheer real-time ingestion.
Right. They aren't trying to capture every single click in milliseconds.
Exactly. The Qualtrics Survey Builder includes incredibly rigorous built-in version control and complex conditional branching logic. It operates almost like an institutional review board, like an IRB that you would find in an academic or a medical setting.
And that IRB-style workflow is a defining constraint. I mean, if you want to change a single question on a survey in a highly regulated environment, say, a bank or a healthcare provider, the architecture forces that modification to pass through a strict, multi-tiered compliance checkpoint before it can ever be published.
Right. It physically stops you from moving too fast.
Exactly. It deliberately slows down the iteration cycle to guarantee absolute data integrity for regulated reporting. Every single survey modification is perfectly traceable, reinforced by rigid role-based access controls and audit trails.
And once you have that perfectly governed data, they apply XM Discover. That's the text analytics engine born from their Clarabridge acquisition.
Oh yeah, that's a beast of an engine.
It really is. XM Discover applies deep natural language models to those open-ended survey responses to extract sentiment, emotion, and intent. It's designed to feed strategic, multi-year product roadmap decisions, and it's supported by longitudinal panel management.
We should probably pause on that longitudinal panel management for a second because it is a massive differentiator.
Yeah, go ahead.
Qualtrics manages long-term tracking studies using weighted sampling and attrition adjustments. That ensures the data remains statistically significant over years, not just hours.
Okay, let's unpack this. Architecturally, Medallia operates like a central nervous system, reacting instantly to a hand touching a hot stove. Qualtrics operates like a team of academic researchers studying why people touch stoves over a 5-year period to redesign the kitchen.
That framing highlights the divide perfectly. I mean,
Mhm.
both the central nervous system and the academic research team are highly effective models in theory. But when deployed in massive, fragmented enterprise environments, they collide with messy, real-world constraints. To understand the true value of these tools, we really have to look at how these distinct architectures perform under actual pressure.
Okay, let's test that pressure. Case number 1. Imagine a scenario where speed is paramount, like launching a new e-commerce checkout flow.
Okay, high stakes, fast moving.
Exactly. Your team rolls out an A/B test, and almost immediately, a localized surge of negative sentiment spikes on Twitter. Crucially, this social spike coincides perfectly with a sudden drop-off in conversions on that specific product page.
Right, people are complaining and abandoning carts at the same time.
Yes. And if you are relying on a governed survey model, you might not catch that correlation for weeks.
But Medallia's microservices architecture is built for this exact moment. Because it monitors social data and click-screen pipelines simultaneously, it spots that correlation in real time.
And what? It just flags it.
Well, no, that's the beauty of it.
Right.
It can be configured to automatically trigger an outbound API call to your optimization platform like Adobe Target or Optimizely and pause that failing A/B test instantly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're literally closing the loop between a bad customer experience and the technical remediation in seconds.
That's the hand pulling away from the hot stove.
Exactly.
But let's flip the scenario for case number 2. What happens when speed isn't just a luxury, but it's a legal or an operational crisis? Let's say you have a massive product recall where you need to understand exactly what customers are experiencing right now.
In a crisis, time is your enemy.
It is.
And this is where the Qualtrics architecture actually bites back. If your organization has configured that mandatory 2-week IRB-style review cycle for any survey modification to maintain compliance, your voice of the customer team is suddenly paralyzed.
You can't move.
Right. That built-in workflow actually prevents the team from rapidly adding recall-specific questions to outgoing surveys. The very governance structure that protects your data integrity during normal operations actively delays your ability to capture critical insight during an emergency.
Right. Every architecture has a dark side. Which brings us to case number 3, the specific failure modes of both platforms. Let's stay with Qualtrics for a moment. The major vulnerability of relying heavily on those longitudinal panels for deep multi-year insight is a phenomenon called panel fatigue.
Panel fatigue is a silent killer for enterprise data.
It really is.
If you over-survey your dedicated panel, response rates steadily erode. And to compensate, the platform uses weighted sampling. So if your younger demographic stops responding, the system might mathematically weigh the few remaining younger voices heavier to maintain the demographic balance.
But mathematically masking the attrition doesn't fix the underlying rot. I mean, the danger is that your C-suite is still staring at a beautiful green dashboard making massive capital allocation decisions, completely unaware that the data foundation is going stale.
Yeah, they think everything is fine.
Exactly. You become entirely blind to emerging real-time issues, like new friction in a mobile app, because the people experiencing it simply aren't responding to your surveys anymore.
Right, but I have to say the Medallia failure modes are arguably much more explosive because they involve automated actions. The source documentation points to 2 specific technical mishaps here.
Okay, what's the first one?
First, imagine a retailer using a Medallia social listening trigger to automate a discount coupon to anyone who tweets a complaint. If the internal mapping between a user's social media ID and their central CRM record is outdated or corrupted, the automated system fires that make-good discount to a completely wrong customer segment.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, you generate instant revenue leakage and a massive brand backlash, all without a human ever touching the keyboard.
And the second failure mode is even more severe because it touches compliance. Since Medallia ingests real-time call transcripts, you are entirely reliant on a natural language processing pipeline to mask sensitive data on the fly.
Right. We're talking about PII, personally identifiable information, in PCI, payment card industry data.
Yes.
If that pipeline is even slightly misconfigured and fails to redact a credit card number being spoken by a frustrated customer on a live call.
Here's where it gets really interesting. If Medallia is piping raw transcripts into agent workflows instantly, a single failed redaction isn't just a glitch, it's a massive GDPR or CCPA violation. You're trading operational speed for massive legal liability.
Oh, absolutely. I agree completely. That exact tension between operational speed and legal liability is why success doesn't depend on the software itself. It depends entirely on how you structure the human teams managing that code.
So let's get into Act 3 here. Let's build a practical framework for how to actually manage this. How do teams balance this liability without tearing each other apart?
Well, step one, you have to map their ACI. You have to define exactly who is responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed, because without a strict operational division of labor, these platforms ignite massive internal turf wars.
So what does this all mean for team dynamics? If the VOC manager owns the survey, but IT owns the real-time clickstream, how do you prevent a turf war over who actually owns the voice of the customer?
By drawing very clear lines, IT and data engineering own the real-time signal ingestion, period. They are responsible for the API pipelines, the click streams, and ensuring the transcript flows are stable.
Right.
The VOC manager owns the survey design, the strategic governance, and the action orchestration. Legal and compliance own the guardrails, privacy, consent management, and audit trail oversight.
And the CX leader is the one accountable across the entire board.
Exactly.
Okay, so step 2 in our framework.
Yeah.
Once you have the humans aligned, you have to tune the machine. If you are running Medallia's event-driven architecture, teams must actively manage and tune the alert thresholds.
Oh, this is critical.
It is. When you have a central nervous system taking in millions of ambient signals, failing to tune those thresholds results in catastrophic alert fatigue.
And alert fatigue destroys adoption. I mean, if frontline operations get pinged for every minor clickstream anomaly or abandoned cart, they will simply start ignoring the system entirely. You have to aggressively filter the noise so that only critical, actionable signals actually reach a human being.
Right. And step 3 is the counterbalance to that, managing attrition on the Qualtrics side. The VOC manager must actively track panel fatigue rather than just letting the algorithms mask it with weighted sampling.
Yeah, you can't just set it and forget it.
Exactly. If you treat a longitudinal panel as a set it and forget it tool, your response rates drop and your executive retorting is built on a house of cards. You have to actively manage the human participation in your surveys.
Which leads us to step 4, aligning strategic horizons. Ultimately, the CX leader has to decide what the primary goal actually is. Is your top priority first call resolution, immediate churn reduction, and lowering support escalations?
If so, you lean into the Medallia real-time orchestration.
Right, but if your priority is multi-year capital allocation, product roadmap validation, and highly regulated reporting, you lean into the Qualtrics governed depth.
And that brings us to an incredible irony buried deep in the source documentation. We've talked extensively about these powerful technical mechanisms, but the ultimate bottleneck isn't the software?
No, the irony is glaring when you look at actual enterprise deployments. Medallia's AI is breathtakingly fast. It can analyze a live interaction, detect severe customer frustration, and surface a suggested refund amount to an agent in milliseconds.
Right. The system knows exactly what to do instantly.
But in the vast majority of large, complex enterprises, a frontline agent is simply not authorized to act on that financial suggestion without managerial sign-off.
So the agent has to pause the interaction, ping a supervisor in a Slack channel or Teams chat, and just wait.
Exactly. The technology operated in milliseconds, but the human corporate hierarchy added hours, or sometimes days, to the feedback loop. The entire real-time advantage of the architecture completely evaporates in practice because the organizational structure refuses to move at the speed of the software.
Wow. And on the flip side, you have the Qualtrics approach. It is deliberately slower and deeply governed. But that rigorous survey process feeds directly into highly structured, quarterly reviewed executive decision boards.
Right. And those boards actually have the authority and the budget to allocate capital and change the business.
So the slow data actually moves the needle faster in reality.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, over a 12-month horizon, Qualtrics' disciplined, slow cadence can actually deliver higher measurable ROI than Medallia's rapid real-time stream, because the real-time stream often just generates noise that humans are too bottlenecked to act upon.
That is fascinating. So, synthesizing all of this, the real choice you're making isn't between two different software architectures at all. It's a forced audit of your organization's human operational model and your specific risk tolerance.
Exactly. You aren't buying software. You're buying an operational tempo. You have to align the capability of the tool with the brutal reality of how your company actually makes decisions.
Well said. To wrap this up, we want to give you 3 concrete actions you can take this week to apply this teardown to your own architecture.
Ah,
Action 1. Audit the latency in your human approval chains. Go measure exactly how long it takes for a managerial sign-off to occur for a frontline action. Because if your internal approval takes 3 days, a real-time ingestion engine won't save your customer
it
experience.
just won't.
Action 2. Stress test your real-time data redaction pipelines for compliance leaks. If you are ingesting live transcripts or social data, you need your engineering team to intentionally inject dummy credit card numbers and sensitive PII. You have to ensure your natural language models are masking it before it ever hits an agent's desktop. Find your compliance leaks before the regulators do.
Highly recommend that one.
And Action 3. Review your longitudinal panels for response rate erosion. Look closely at your Qualtrics dashboards and check the raw attrition rate over the last 4 quarters prior to any weighted sampling adjustments. Ensure your strategic roadmap isn't being built on a shrinking, unrepresentative foundation.
Excellent advice.
If you want to understand how CRM and AI platforms actually work under the hood, cut through the vendor hype, and stay ahead of real architectural shifts, not just marketing narratives, subscribe to the CRM Position podcast. We break down the complex realities of enterprise systems with the depth that practitioners actually need.
We really do.
We'll leave you with one final thought to reflect on as you look at your own tech stack. If your underlying technology is designed to operate in milliseconds, but your corporate approval process operates in days, are you just buying a Ferrari to sit in rush hour traffic?